Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Medium Moment where I come on and just discuss something in about a 15-minute time frame to not do a long form video. I've learned, and I will get my trusty timer up so I keep myself to the limit. Okay, so timer started. What I would like to discuss with everyone today is the circle, sitting in circles. If you go back years ago to the pioneers of spiritualism, mediums of the past, they all sat and developed in a circle. They would do it once a week, twice a month, once a month, whatever, but they all sat in circles. I know today is very different. I know that we all have busy lives. I know there's constant distractions all around us or create our own distractions, but circles to me are very important. It's how I started. And I try to sit with a few trusted people at least twice a month. And please remember, a circle can also be just one other person. It can be two people, it can be a circle. Um, because when you want to make an appointment with spirit and then you have to show up. You should show up because when you show up, spirit always shows up. It's how we develop. It's sort of like if you're a ballet dancer, you're taking ballet classes, the bar in the ballet studio. The circle is sort of like that ballet bar. You keep going back to it. You keep returning to it to strengthen your foundation, to strengthen your core. Okay. Very different, like I said, today in today's world. But in a way, it's actually better because you have this, you have Zoom, you have Skype, you have whatever. Oh, no more Skype. Sorry. You don't have Skype. No more Skype. That's gone. You have Zoom, you have other conference softwares, video conference softwares. So you can connect with people from all over the world in different time zones. So find a trusted group and just sit with them twice a month, once a week, whatever you can do, but really try to stick to the appointment. Of course, our lives get busy. Of course, things pop up. Okay. So if you have family issues that you have to deal with or you're not feeling well, that's normal, but it shouldn't be, oh, I'd rather go out to dinner or I'd rather go to a movie or I'd rather watch Netflix or whatever. Try to keep that appointment and show up for spirit for sure, but also for your fellow circle mates because they're showing up. Quickly, people ask, well, what's the difference between a practice circle and a development circle? Okay, so a practice circle is basically people coming together at a set time on a set day, and it's just about practicing your links, practicing the blending, maybe different exercises, but there's a circle leader. You always have to have a circle leader. Otherwise, it's chaos. Then everyone's like, I want to do this. We should do this. There's too many chefs in the kitchen. So whatever sort of circle you have, there has to be someone in charge. Even if you have to say, okay, this week, Sally, you're the designated circle leader, and the next week, Barbara does it or whatever. But you have to have someone that everyone listens to and times everything. And usually the circle leader might not be involved that week. So it might make sense to sort of switch that up if everyone wants to practice to give order to it. Spirit does not function very well in disharmony and chaos. It needs harmony and peace to work its magic, its best through us. So circle leader is very important for practice circles or development circles. Development circles are a little different. There you have a designated circle leader all the time, a teacher, and they will work with the group on different exercises. Today, we're going to work on doing a reading just with the clairvoyance. Today, we're going to work on improving our clairsentience. We're going to work on bringing the different spirit senses into readings. There's always sort of a goal, and their exercises towards that goal. Okay. But same thing with a practice circle. A development circle should also be in harmony and it should be at peace. So, if you're in a circle or a development group that you're meeting regularly and you feel there are a few circle members that don't fit or kind of, start to capsize the ship starts to tilt. If the circle leader is not taking care of that, they're not looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for themselves and they don't want to have confrontation. A good circle leader, and it's not nice, it's not a pleasant thing to do. I understand that they have to remove the squeaky wheels from a circle because otherwise the whole thing just spins out. right? You have to have harmony and love in the circle. Okay. So if that's the case, start your own circle, find another circle where you like and trust the circle leader that they will protect you. They will protect the energy of the group, the energy of the space. Very important. And it's one of the most important things I've learned in doing what I do is I have to defend the energy of the group. Always. I have to. It's not nice. I don't like it, but it's my job. So you have to either remove people or take them aside, and just have a conversation with them, because you don't want people in a circle that they kind of lead by their ego, or they're more spiritual than other people, or their education or their training is superior to anyone else's. That's all nonsense. Then they should be in another circle. If they really feel they're too advanced, then they shouldn't be there. But find a circle that fits your level as well. Um, I always like to be pushed. I would always push myself into the deep end. If you're like that, maybe find a little more of an advanced circle than your skill set, but show up and be willing to try everything. Okay. So I find circles work the best when you understand the mechanics of mediumship. So if you're a beginning medium, um, you should take an unfoldment class first, unfoldment into mediumship, so you understand the sitting in the power, you understand the peaceful mind, the harmonious mind, the how the spirit world functions, understand what a blend is, understand what a link is, and how to strengthen these, understand what evidence is, what understand what evidence is not. Okay, so usually it's better to do an unfoldment class first before moving into a circle, and then just go. And that's really where you start to learn. That's where you start to learn how to be a medium. Perhaps if you have someone that you're working with that, they might bring through names and you don't get taken back by that, or don't feel bad about it. You will reach that point if it's in your abilities. So I always like when, people work together and they might say, well, how do you get that? And they explain their process to their practice partner. Doesn't mean you're going to be able to do it the same way they do, because we're all unique, but it's important to have a good foundation before you go into circles, even beginning circles, I find, because it's not like a classroom. It's practice. Even a development circle, you're learning a lot, but it's not individual. It's a group effort and group practice, and then you just develop whatever the circle leader wants to do that week with you. But if you're not happy in your circle, leave it. Find another one. If I have to be careful how I say this, as well. You don't have to like everyone in your circle, right? You don't have to be BFFs with them. I find it better if you're not. I don't want to know too much about people, if I'm working with them, definitely with sitters. And when I used to practice, I never really liked to get too close to the people in the circle, because I don't want to know too much. I rather than read for them and then know I'm not, oh, maybe that's from memory, or maybe that comes from a conversation that we had. Um, you have to love everybody in the circle, and you have to be accepting and compassionate, if they're all also, delivering compassion and, acceptance to you and the whole group. But you don't have to be best friends with them at all. You have to love them. You have to like them to the point that you want to work with them. But I tend to think it's better not to get too close to the people that you're practicing with, because then, especially definitely with evidential mediumship, um, because you know a lot, you're sharing a lot, going out to dinner or by text or on the phone or whatever. So I like to have it sort of like a clean slate. If you've been in the circle for like 2 or 3 years, I suggest, finding a new circle. Saying that, you will see, if you've been sitting in a circle for a long time, spirit will remove people and bring new people in. Can't they moved locations, they can't come anymore, their job changed, so they can't come at this time. They will usually, I find, I don't mean this in a nasty way, they will usually remove the squeaky wheels. I love that. I love that, because that really talks about the intelligence of the spirit world. So circles, they're very important for our development. It's great if you're taking classes and then you just do the classwork, but you need to practice. And how lovely it is that you can have a practice situation with a group of like-minded people, or like I said, even one other person's fine. Um, Watch the circle leaders, make sure they're attentive, make sure they're just not providing the space, that they're watching the energy and they're coming into the breakout rooms and seeing how you're doing, um, and trying to identify any problems in the group, because that's the biggest issue I always had with circles is sometimes circle leaders just didn't want to deal with problems, deal with having to tell someone you can't come in with this attitude, or you can't disrespect people like that, or try to teach. You're going into a circle, so I don't think your practice partner, without you asking, I guess, a question about how they're getting certain information or how they're perceiving spirit. Um, I don't think your circle partner should be trying to teach you. I've seen horrible situations like that, because I would get very offended. Not offended. I would just feel like they were kind of like encroaching on my boundaries, because they're not the teacher. They're just a practice partner. So I'm not really too concerned about their opinion. Of course, I need their feedback from the evidence I'm giving them. It has to land or not land. But harmony and peace within the circle. Look for it. Strive for it. Search for it. If you're not happy where you are, move somewhere else. You're not a tree. You can move to another circle or start your own circle if you feel like you're ready to control the group. Because if you're going to run a circle, you have to control the energy in that group. Okay. Sit in a circle, find a circle. It's so important. And you'll see it becomes like air. You need it. You need to go to this circle once a week, twice a month, once a month, whatever you have time for. But please, if you're in a circle, or actually if you're in any class, if you're taking any classes online, I know it's easy to skip online classes. Um, and I know people have busy lives, but try to show up, because when you show up, spirit shows up. Okay, great. Thank you so much. And I made it in time.